A princess stands on the dusty plains, not waiting for a prince, but for the next man she will throw to the ground to claim his horses. In the vast, windswept heart of Asia, where the Mongol Empire carved its name into history, one woman defied every rule. She was Khutulun, the warrior princess born from the bloodline of Genghis Khan himself, and the empire she was meant to serve had no idea what she was about to become. The year is 1260. The Mongol Empire is a colossal force, a tapestry of conquered lands stitched together by horse and blade. Into this world of absolute power, a girl is born. Her name means moonlight, a stark contrast to the fierce destiny that awaits her. She is the daughter of Kaidu, a powerful Khan and descendant of the great Genghis. With 14 brothers, tradition dictates she is destined for a political marriage, a pawn in a game of alliances. But Khutulun had a different game in mind. From her first steps, she trained alongside her brothers. She learned to ride with the wind, to fire arrows from a galloping horse, and to survive the brutal conditions of the steppe. This was not a mere formality. It was her life. By 10, she could outride seasoned soldiers. By 15, she was a master of Mongolian wrestling, a sacred test of strength and honor. The training grounds became her stage, where she would send grown men tumbling into the dirt. Her brothers watched, a mix of awe and unease settling in their hearts. They were beginning to see the truth: their sister was the most formidable fighter among them. As she reached adulthood, whispers of the unbeatable princess spread like wildfire across the grasslands. Suitors arrived at her father's court, princes and generals hoping to win her hand and secure an alliance. She rejected every single one. Her father, Kaidu, pressured her. "You must marry," he insisted. "It is our way." Her response would echo through history. "I will only wed the man who can defeat me in wrestling," she declared. "And every challenger who fails will grant me 10 horses." The court was stunned. She had turned a sacred tradition into a high-stakes contest for her own autonomy. Kaidu, after a moment of shock, agreed. The challenges began. The first suitor, a confident prince, arrived with his 10 horses. The match was over in moments. A second came, then a 10th, then 100. Warriors of all sizes and styles tested their might against her. None could find a weakness. Her technique was flawless, her speed supernatural. According to the chronicler Marco Polo, her herd of horses swelled to over 10,000. But this was about more than horses. It was a declaration of sovereignty over her own life. Then came a challenger unlike any other. A champion from a distant territory, a man whose shoulders were as broad as a bull's and whose record was unblemished. He brought 100 horses, a fortune meant to showcase his certainty. He promised to be the one to finally conquer the unconquerable princess. Even Kaidu urged caution. "You can refuse," he told his daughter. Khutulun's reply was steadfast. "If I refuse, my legacy becomes a lie. I will fight, and I will win." The entire camp gathered, the air thick with anticipation. The champion performed the traditional eagle dance, his movements radiating power. Khutulun mirrored him, her dance a display of fluid grace and lethal precision. They circled. He lunged, his hands grasping for a hold. She sidestepped, using his own momentum against him. In a blur of motion, she hooked her leg, pulled, and the colossal champion crashed to the earth. The silence shattered into a roaring cheer. She helped her defeated opponent to his feet and, in a move of brilliant strategy, offered him a command in her father's army. She was not just building a legend. She was building a network of loyal, capable warriors. But her greatest tests were not in the wrestling ring. They were on the battlefield. War erupted between her father, Kaidu, and his cousin, the great Kublai Khan. When Kaidu assembled his forces, he made a decision that shocked his generals. He appointed Khutulun as a commander, giving her tactical authority over thousands of warriors. The old guard protested. "The men will not follow a woman," they cried. Kaidu's response was simple. "Watch them." Her first test came at the Talas River. Ordered to flank the enemy, she discovered a reserve force waiting to ambush her. With seconds to decide, she split her riders. One group created a diversion, while she led 100 men on a wider, hidden arc. She emerged directly behind the enemy command, leading a charge that shattered their formation. In the chaos, She did the unthinkable. She leaned from her saddle, grabbed an enemy general, and hauled him onto her horse as a prisoner. The enemy line broke. She returned to camp and threw the general at her father's feet. No one ever questioned her command again. They called her the shield of the people. For over 15 years, she led from the front. She commanded armies of 40,000, her reputation for tactical genius and personal bravery spreading fear in her enemies. She was known for her signature move, capturing opposing warriors from horseback with her bare hands. But her very success created a new, more dangerous problem. Her power and her father's trust made her the most influential of his children. As Kaidu aged, he began to consider a radical idea, making Khutulun his heir. The court erupted. Her brothers were outraged. Advisors warned that a female Khan would shatter alliances and invite rebellion. The pressure was immense. Khutulun saw the poison in her father's favor. In a private meeting, she made a stunning choice. "You must name one of my brothers," she told him. "If you choose me, our family will tear itself apart. I will not be the cause of its destruction." She chose the survival of her people over her own ambition. When Kaidu fell fatally ill in 1301, the succession crisis peaked. Khutulun gathered her 14 brothers. "We can fight and destroy all our father built," she said, "or we can unite." She proposed her brother Oris, a wise and diplomatic man, as Khan, and promised to serve as his military commander. It was a masterstroke that prevented civil war. She had the throne within her grasp and willingly let it go to preserve her father's legacy. In her later years, she finally chose a husband, not a prince or champion, but a loyal soldier from her father's army. She continued to command, to lead, and to be the warrior she had always been. Yet, dark whispers followed her. Chronicles accused her of poisoning her father or using witchcraft. Why? Because her achievements were so extraordinary that later writers could not accept a woman achieving them through skill alone. They had to invent crimes to explain her. The real scandal was not what she did, but what people needed to believe about her. Khutulun's legacy did not fade. Marco Polo recorded her tale, and centuries later, it inspired the opera Turandot, about a fierce, independent princess. In Mongolia, she is a national hero, a symbol of strength and defiance. She proved that the only permission you need to be extraordinary is your own. She never asked to be a warrior. She became one. She never asked to lead armies. She commanded them. Her story is a door she kicked open 700 years ago. If Khutulun's journey inspired you, if it reminded you that limits are often just illusions, then do me a huge favor and hit the like button. It truly helps this channel. Winds of Thought. Share more forgotten stories like this one. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next exploration. Now I want to hear from you. Which part of her incredible story resonated most with you? Was it her undefeated wrestling record, her battlefield genius, or her ultimate sacrifice for her family? Tell me in the comments below. History is filled with heroes who refuse to be forgotten. Be like Khutulun.